What's up, guys? This is going to be a quick video here, tournament report once again. I went to a League Cup, and this time I did not place. It's my first League Cup. I didn't place that this season, but we're going to jump into it. I ended up playing Single Strike Lugia because I felt like Single Strike is in a really good position, and it's all about reading your local metagame, which I did horribly wrong, and here's a story about how I did that. So my local league, this store that I go to, I played the Thursday Challenge there, and remember I won with Mew, right? Like I won with Mew, but everyone there was playing Lost Box for Lost Box Kyogre, or Miraidon, or Colorless Lugia. And I'm thinking in my mind, okay, this metagame seems perfect for Single Strike Lugia. I don't think there was like any Zard there. There was like one guy who always plays Zard, but I was like, that guy, I don't know if he'll be there. I'm going to bring Single Strike Lugia. And I decided to tech a little bit heavier for things that could damage my bench. So I chose to play 2 Collapse Stadium, 2 Mesagoza, and a Pumpkaboo to have 5 Stadium outs to deal with, any path shenanigans in case people decided to copy my recent Mew endeavors. And I was like, cool. I feel really good about this list. Everything feels good. I'm only going to play 2 V-Guards because I don't think it'll be as necessary, and play a Jet instead of a Penny to have a way to move. And I felt super comfortable with the list. I was like Single Strike's in a good spot. I can bust the guys back out, see how it goes. I show up. It's a little bit of the same people who were there, a little bit of different people. Keep in mind that the difference between a cup and a challenge is people are going to take it a little bit more seriously. The reason for this particular story that I opted to assume that it would be the same crowd from the challenge on Thursday is because it is a 2-person cap because the store is super small. And the TO was like, yeah, I'll make sure you guys can all play. So I figured everyone there had signed up that day to come to the cup. So, I get there. It's like half the same, half the different. I'm like, I don't really know where people are playing. But some of those guys in the past, like, obviously I've been gone for 2 weekends of regionals, so everyone can change their decks within 3 weeks. But typically people don't in a format, which, again, when you assume you make an ass out of you and me. So I fell to my own hubris today is the story. So I ended up just assuming everyone's playing like they used to play. Round 1, I go... we ended up having 20 Masters exactly, 2 Juniors and 1 Senior. There was a Pokédad who could have played, and the TO would have made space for him, just so we could get that 21st Master, giving us 8 rounds and top 8 points. But none of us realized it at the moment that we had one person that was available. So we ended up kicking off an 8 or 5 rounder with top 4 cut. So it's going to be kind of brutal with how many people there were because we were right at the cusp of the next stage. I played Dean round 1, who I think is the probably best player in the room, better than myself in my opinion. And he's playing Chan Pao. So Dean and I ID, and mathematically it felt like it was a fine ID because now we're going to set the up-down pairs every single round. So if Dean wins his game and I win my game consistently, we will keep knocking the needed match points to make top 8 lower and lower and lower. We're eliminating a potential XO each round, so there are less XOs, causing an uneven shift, making people play. My logic was super sound, did not work out in practice. I end up round 2 hitting the Junior Elijah. He's playing Lost Box. I end up winning, and Dean ends up tying again, playing Chen Pao into Lost Box, and the game goes super grindy, goes to time. And this throws all the math off. And I remember seeing the 1 Senior that was there ended up beating a Master. And I'm like, yes, the math is working out perfectly. Dean and I both just have to win get to 302 basically is what we were thinking. Or we can just get to 401, which is also fine. Both scenarios are super okay. The way we'd laid it out is 1-3-1 at the very least should make it. So Dean ends up tying, throws the whole math off again. The next round I go up against Benji, who is playing Arcdura. Terrible matchup for me, but Arcdura Paths is what he was playing. So I end up finding myself in a position where the Path is still in play, and I am and he finds a switch. He knocks out my active Lugia with Dura. I crag it for 80, discarding the top 2. Nothing important. And then he finds switch to go back into Arceus. He has he judges himself in a switch DTE, and I'm like, dude, if this guy stays in the active, I just had the Single Strike already in hand. I got judged back into another Single Strike energy. I had the one shot on the Duraludon. Then all he does is come up and hit me with he knocks out my Tyranitar, but the game is just over at that point. because I can go Stone Journer into Final T-Tar for the game, and he can't do anything because he had 2 RCSs on the board. And I was like, man, or he had a Barrel on the board too, so I could just set up a Lugia. They can't get one shot. And I was like, man, come on. And then the game gets like super grindy and windy, where I boss him up a Barrel, and he finds the DTE unfortunately that turn to retreat it, and he doesn't retreat, and I'm like, it's just locals, or it's like a cup still, but it's not something that I'm willing to like make an enemy over in my local scene. So I was like, whatever, just take it back, but you can take the retreat back, I don't care. And the next turn I would have bossed it back up, and that was his last DT, I believe, yeah. So he would have been able to. He had a jet energy though, so I didn't know that. But it would have just like stuck him, and I would have won the game. In my mind, I would have cracked him once and seen what the top 2 were. If I hit his last boss, I would have won as well. So, and then I'm 1-1-1, mathematically still in it to win it, but now the matchup's not going the way I want it to. Then I hit a Lost Box again. Oh no, sorry, I hit a Gardevoir, and this one I pretty much set up perfectly. Well, I go first. I missed Lugia turn 1, which sucks. He gets like double rots, Mew in play. I go set up my board. He goes, like I go top deck Ultra Ball away, 2 guys or 2 cards. It was like I had like 5 supporters. Put a Lugia into play. Burnett's just put 2 down. I know that he can't one shot me, or like theoretically, hopefully, can't one shot me. And I opened Pumpkaboo. So then I go attach, evolve, do the whole thing, take some prizes. He Mirage Steps. I knock out the Mirage, but it only puts 1 into play because he already has 1. He has 1 refinement in play. Mirage Steps. I knock out the Mirage Step. He evolves both. I boss the guard to EX. Game over with Yveltal. Game is effectively over at this point. So then I'm 2-1. I go up against Lost Box in the last round. I do the math. There is 6 people at X1 or better. I need the XO to win, and then Dean is XO2 now. So I need the 4-0 to go to 5-0, knocking the 3-1 to 3-2, opening up a spot for me or Dean, and then if I need Dean to lose, if not, he goes 3-0-2 and he makes it. But if Dean loses, I'm the one who takes the spot. So, or me or my opponent, who is at the X1-1 game. I end up winning my game against Morgan, who's playing Lost Box. I'm able to out-trade, outlast. I give up the first 2 prizes, unfortunately, to Raikou. And I don't get to Iono because I have to Ultra Ball. I have to research both Iono away at like turn 1, which sucked. So not having the 3rd Iono really, really sucked there in this game. But I end up like pulling it through, collapsing away my Luminian, like stuff like that to just like end up winning the game. And then I end up getting 6th because Dean ends up winning his game. The 4-0 ends up losing because he opened to Purdue 4 energies or pass or something. And a top 4 cut is formed, and I end up being 6th. Now, this was a terrible meta read on my part because there was like 3 players in top cut that were playing Arc Dura picks. So I just like couldn't win this cup ever. Like I just like showed up, and I guess like all these guys were talking and had like, they must have seen some lists from Sacramento, probably Braden's, and decided they wanted to try the deck. So I walked into a landmine of a day, and I had a terrible tournament, which will happen here and there. So 3-1-1 was still not a bad record. I'm still considering bringing Single Strike to Toronto. It is a comfort pick. I think Single Strike or Chen Pao is probably the direction I'm leaning towards. But yeah, no championship points on the point today for me. I'm still at 461 out of my necessary 600 for Hawaii. Let me know how your guys' journeys are going so far. We'll do a recap at the end of LAIC to just kind of talk about my season so far, the monetary cost behind it, all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for everything. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and peace out.